Hey guys, it's Melinda from melindaz.com. Good morning. I am here enjoying the moment outdoors. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Living in the present. The present is perfect. That's a phrase you might have heard before. And you might have thought that was a little too out there or a little too woo-woo for you. But if you really break it down and think about it logically, it's true. Everything that all of us have done in the past is what has brought us here to our present. And where we are right now is exactly where we need to be. So if you can believe that, if you can grasp onto that, you will be so rewarded for it. But there are some people who can only live in the past. So today we're going to talk about those people, those who live in the past, how to identify it, why we do it, and then also to see how we can break out of it. Because that person might be you. We've all been guilty of it at some point. But here are some examples. We have like the football champion from high school, the guy who was the big man on campus. But he's now grown up and he can't understand why when he walks down the main street, people aren't worshiping him. Or we have the woman who used to be a size 4 25 years ago. And over the last 25 years, she has done amazing, incredible things, and some of those things have contributed to her body no longer fitting into size 4 clothes. But rather than appreciating what she's accomplished and loving herself where she is today, she thinks back to those size 4 days, and it really holds her back. Maybe we have people that we know from high school who are friends with their high school friends and their college friends, but they have not made any new relationships since then. People who regret old relationships or old jobs, and they say things like, well, what if, and if only I'd done that. Well, that's the coulda, woulda, shoulda syndrome, and we want to try to stay away from that. If you've gotten together with your friends and had the same conversations regurgitated over and over again every time you get together, remember that night, or, oh, that was such a great time in our lives. You know, those kind of things can really just keep a friendship in a rut when you're not making any new memories. And then there's old behaviors that could be associated with people and times of our lives. So maybe you associate drinking or doing drugs with a certain time of your life or certain people that you miss from your life or whatnot, and you want to relive those times, and you could perpetuate those bad habits and those behaviors to a point where they could become self-destructive. So the bottom line is that we all need new memories. We need new experiences, new benchmarks, new mile markers, things that help show us how we're evolving and growing and learning and taking us to the next step in our life, which instead of just staying put, which is really what life is about. So the present is perfect, and let's live in it. Now, I'm not saying to get rid of all your memories. I'm not saying to throw out all your pictures and to wipe your brain clean. I'm saying that we should decide which of those memories and which of those events from our past lives are holding us back from our present life, from really enjoying where we are today. And some things that we could do is if we are aware that these cycles are occurring, then we can try to stop them in their tracks. And if, for instance, if you're in a conversation that is going back to remember when, then redirect that conversation. You have the power. Ask a question about the now. How are you today? What did you do today? How is your job? Do you have any vacations coming up to look forward to? And in this instance, it is okay to look to the future, because those future events that we're looking forward to bring us joy in the present, and that's what we want, is to be happy where we are right now. Create activities that are centered around things that nobody has ever done before. If you're in a group of people and every Saturday night you go see live music, or maybe you go see the same band every Saturday night, well, go see a different band. Go see a band you've never heard of before. It's going to break you out of the rut of the same old playlists and the same old groupies that you see every single show. Or maybe if sports is your thing and you usually support the Yankees, go to a Mets game. Do something different. Do something totally outside your comfort zone that may not make sense to you or your friends, but it'll create a new memory that you can hold on to. Maybe if you eat dinner at the same 4 restaurants in town every time you go out, pick a new restaurant somewhere else. Pick a cuisine you've never heard of before. Do something totally different. Maybe you're somebody who has had the exact same hairstyle for 20 years because it's safe, because you know it, because it's familiar, because someone 20 years ago told you it was so flattering to you and you don't want to let go of it. Go to your hairdresser and surrender. Say, do whatever you want to me and see what happens. And then force yourself to be happy with the results too. Hair grows, you'll get used to it. And then lastly, this is something that can be done for so many points of our lives, but for this one, it's especially poignant. Decluttering. Get rid of things that aren't serving you anymore. Go through your house, find your size 4 clothes that are still living in your closet, and donate them. Take your trophies from your football days and put them in a box and stick them in the attic or stick them in the garage if you can't bring yourself to get rid of them. It is scientifically proven through metaphysical theories that if you get rid of things in your life that are holding you back, that you don't serve you anymore, you are physically making room to attract things to your life that you want or that you need and don't even know about. And by making the room for that, you are going to inherently be able to create new memories and new growth experiences in your life. Trust me on this. Give it a shot. Just throw out a few things today. Donate them if you can. You will thank me for it. Let me know how it goes. Comment on melindaz.com. Go over to my YouTube page or here at my YouTube page, subscribe, and make a comment below. Let me know what changes you might have seen in your life. Your friends will also thank you for it because it's going to reinvigorate your relationships. Now, speaking of your friends, tune in tomorrow because we're going to talk about something called Schadenfreude, or as I've heard it said here in the US, Schadenfreude, which is basically our inherent pleasure from learning about someone else's misfortune. It sounds so horrible. We get happy when bad things happen to other people. Doesn't happen to everybody, doesn't happen all the time, but I'm sure at some point you might have experienced it or you've been on the receiving end of it. And it could be to a friend, it could be to a family member, it could be towards even your spouse or even your kids. But it's not a good thing, and we want to explore why we do it, see what the consequences of continuing that behavior is, and then learning ways to get rid of it. Usually, too, it's accompanied by snarkiness, by fake sympathy, and also cattiness behind their back. So all those things we'll get rid of. So join me tomorrow for that. And in the meantime, don't have any Schadenfreude for me, but I'm going to go jump in that pool and enjoy the day. I hope you have something equally awesome to do today. Live in the present and enjoy it no matter what it is. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.